Hello there, this is Victor Santana for September 16th, Tuesday. Let's take a look at the markets here and see what's going on. Keep in mind, this whole week is option expiration week, so don't be surprised to see these volatile ups and down moves, okay? That's all manipulated by the major market people to scare off the option traders there, okay? So keep that in mind. And if you can, just sit on the side, or if you put any positions, just put in light positions during this volatile uh, week here. Uh, so let's go ahead and take a look at it here. So let me switch over to the NASDAQ here. We're going to start with them. And they're up 0.87%. Look at such a nice up move here. Uh, Took out the majority of this red candle here. Uh, what does that mean? Well, if we extend the line here, you can see we're back above this channel line. Let's put this channel correctly here. Maybe you could adjust it more or less, like right there. Okay, so we're back in the channel here. We did not get a confirmation as a breakdown below this 18-day moving average here. We broke below it, but the next day we recovered it. So don't be surprised if we get back to the top of this channel here. Today I'm going to go look at the, as far as indicators, at the slow stochastics, the 5 and 3. So we're going to go ahead and look at these, and pretty much like the CCI here. They all kind of use the same signal technique. In this case here, what we're looking for is a move below the 50 mark here, represented by this white dashed mark. And we want to see both the green and the red trade below this. And then once we get a positive crossover, then to look for entries. For example, on this last move over here in this area in August, you could see that we went under, traded around this area, started getting a crossover here. Once we see a crossover, then we start to look for entries above of this candle here, the high of that candle. So you look for an entry here if it can start closing above there, and which it didn't until we get to this date here. We got another crossover, so we considered going in if we can get a close above this. Sure enough, the next day we got the close and we got the move up. Okay, so that's kind of how I look at this here. So with the Qs here, as you can see, it has not gotten a crossover. We are under. So, but again, this week is option expiration. So just be extra nimble and light. Next one up was SPY, up 0.75%. And you can see here, it's now under the 50, which we like. And it's kind of doing the crossover here. And now it's a crossover over here based on this here. What do I see in terms of potential? Well, this is where I could see maybe us getting up to there. Let's just move this over here. You can see we're back above within this channel. So this is probably going to be some resistance here. If we do go in above here, keep in mind we have this resistance in this area. Let's look at the Dow, up 0.62%. We do have the crossover, if you could look, and certainly based from the last video, we got it closed above it. Let's throw in the channels here. Okay, so as you can see, traded near the low of here, and then it broke. Now it's back up in this area here. So if you would have gone long here, be careful. It might trade back down, but this one may look like it may want to break out. So based on the signal here, we would have entered right in this candle here, seeing that it was going up by the end of the day, staying above it. So we would enter here. Okay. IWM, the weakest of them all. And as you could see, it's having trouble with this long-term trend line. You might want to even add a second one from this point here down to this point here. See how it's starting to slope down. And let's zoom back in. Okay, and we have the slow stochastics pointing downward where the red is above the green, so that's not good. Maybe once we get down to this zone, this will be a better opportunity and we look for the crossover. All right, so now I'm going to go through the sectors really quick here, starting with the leading sector down to the lowest sector of the day. So the winner for today is copper. JJC had the biggest move, as you could see, 2.49%. Okay, keep in mind it's still trading under the 200-day moving average here. All right, so it's not enough to get me excited. We are, or should I say, it is now back within this trend line, as you could see, this wedge from way over here, from way down here. So it's trading in here. We did get the crossover right in this area, but it's banging its head right on the 200 and more potential resistance up here. So with this one here, I would just leave it alone. It may be just too hard to play it. So we'll just look for better opportunities. Next winner for today was USO. And this one here, you can see we did get a breakout of this longer trend line here. Let's just zoom back from back here. Going all the way from July, looks like. And now it's above that. So let's see how that plays out. Keep in mind, it's still under the 200-day moving average. We may get a lot of resistance up in this area. So at this point, I would just leave this alone as well. IBB, which is biotech. Yeah, this one is a potential. See how it's going. It's within this channel line. Maybe the next potential target is up here. Slow stochastics, though, is pointing downward here. So we haven't got a crossover. Last crossover was right over here on this guy, where you see this line that I had got triggered in and just kind of fighting it over here. Any close below this would be our exit point, which it hasn't gave us a exit point yet. So if you're not in it, let's just watch this. Next one, UNG, natural gas. Also a nice strong update, 1.68%. We did get the dip below the 50, and now it's breaking out. And let's see what the 200-day is on this one here. Oh, it's below it. So maybe it may want to run up to this line here. I see this trend line here. Let's see where it's coming from. See, this is going way back when. And maybe a little too far out from our range. Probably the next one would be right up here to this line here. So let's zoom in on this here and see where we're at. And you could see it did break out. So we might have a target going up to here. So from 2176 all the way to around 2350. This could be tricky, but remember we're under the 200, and next potential resistance could be right here on the top of this line here. So around 2232 zone here, maybe the next hit. So for me, I would just let this pass. Semiconductors here. Okay, 200-day moving is below it, so this is good. And we haven't got a crossover yet. Let's zoom in here. See, no crossover yet. So we're just gonna be patient and wait with a potential target up in this range, up in the 52, 54 area, at least for short term. So let's just keep an eye on this one here and put this in our watch list. Healthcare sector. Okay, this one's been doing good. We haven't got a dip under, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Next one over. Okay, emerging markets. This one here, see we had a nice move up, but we have a wick on the top. We finally got a crossover here. Let's see where the 200-day is, right below it, so that's nice. Okay, it's going to have some resistance up at this area, but we'll look for an entry if it could break above here. If it can trade above this area, then there's a good chance it could continue up higher. So this one I would watch. XLU, we do have a crossover, as you can see right there. 200. Where is our next target? Probably right there. That'll probably be our closest target for XLU. Long term, let's see what the long term trend looks like. Well, long term we might get a right back up to here to the 44, 42 zone here for the long term. So this might be one worthwhile here in your watch list here. So I would get in if we could break above that or close above that area here. Let's go to the next one, XLE Energy. Here in energy, you could see we got a crossover on this date, 9/11, and didn't break above it, and now it's now above it. Okay, so depending, you could just continue on and enter right here. This is nothing wrong with entering at that point. And our next target, let's see where we got here. Our next target could be way up here, so this is good. This is also a nice one here. Let's see where the 200 are, right there. So we might have a chance. So this one's a nice one. Let's go to the next one, EEB, which is the BRIC. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and we just got a crossover here, just like the emerging markets. So I would consider getting in if we can get above that. Next one over, S&P Metals and Mining. Okay, this one here, you could see there's a 200. It traded below but didn't confirm, and it's traded right back up here, which is good. And we do have a crossover going up higher, but if I zoom in here, you can see the crossover was done on 9/11 as well on this candle. So a good entry point would be over this, and so far we haven't gotten there. Once it could get across that, we still have resistance up in this zone, so just keep that in mind. FPX, which represents the IPOs, and what I'm seeing here is we're getting a dip, so we'll pass on that. See, no signal. Retail, XRT, and we're getting a negative cross. See where the red is crossing over the green, and we're above the 50, so we'll just skip that. Technology, it's pretty similar to the NASDAQ. It's just crossing under the 50. However, the red is still above, so we'll leave that alone. And now real estate. As you can see, real estate had a pretty big dip. Now it's way under over here, which is good. This is a nice opportunity, providing that it's over the 200. So let's take a peek. And there's our 200. So this is good. So let's look for a crossover on that. And S&P Global, you can see here we've broken up. zoom in a little bit, and we crossed right above here, which represents here. So this is a good entry point with the first target right there. So that's an idea. And let's see here. Okay, next one. Industrials under the 50, which is good. We got the first day of crossover. So I would consider an entry if we can get a positive trade going over that. Housing. Let's see what the housing does. Okay, it's dipped below, so we'll leave this alone. Let's see here. Transportation. Okay, we have a cross over here, and but we did not get a dip of both of these lines, so we'll leave that alone. Materials. Okay, under the 50, good. We got a crossover today, so this will be a good opportunity if we can get above that with a good chance of going to 50.70. Financials. Okay, we got a crossover here on this day right there. So let's put in this line. Okay, hasn't broken above, so we'll just keep an eye on it. Precious metals. Ooh, under the 200. Okay, so we'll just leave that alone. Silver, same story. You can see it's under the 200 line, so we'll leave that alone. Gold. If it comes up, boop. Gold has hit bottom and is no longer scoring. Nope. Let's try it again. Let's go back to silver and back to gold now. Okay, for some reason gold is not pulling up, so we'll skip that. Let's go to rare earth metals. Same story. Okay. Gold, nothing. Rare earth metals. Oh, we got something. Okay, we're looking at the rare earth metals, and let's check here what we got. Okay, so we're getting a crossover, but look, we're way under the 200. Sure, we can get a bounce back up to here, so we'll just pass on that. And gold is probably going to be the same story if we can get gold to come up. And it's not showing me anything, but I'm pretty sure gold is not a buy right now. So we just have to trust me on that. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Sorry for the long video, but very informative, and keep your eyes on the markets until the next video, which will probably be on Thursday. Take care and trade well.